Howdy folks, All Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we are resuming exactly where we crashed in the previous video. If you have no idea what's going on, we are underway in the Transcontinental Spirit of St. Louis Charles Lindbergh mission from the 40th anniversary of the simulator. We did the transatlantic flight a long time ago, and now we're doing the Transcontinental. And in the previous video we crashed because I gave us some fuel and we were too heavy and we couldn't climb. And as we start out the second video, exactly where we left off, because we were right over there when we crashed, it's not any easier. This is a pain in the butt. This is not an easy thing to do because I'm finally able to get above 7,000 feet. I've been trying to get to 7,000 feet for the past 20 minutes on my own, and all of a sudden I can. I don't understand. This happened too when we flew this plane before, how all of a sudden you get more power. So what happened is I've been sitting here just like 1 knot above stall speed, because it does stall at like 58 with this fuel. Just above stall speed. And I was going to climb as much as I could and want to get to 10,000, but it stopped at 6,950. So I brought back mixture, got my power up a little bit, didn't change, nothing changed. I'm adjusting mixture again right now here. Nothing changed, wouldn't climb, and all of a sudden I hit record. And bam, we went up 2,000 or 1,200 feet. So I don't understand what just happened. Maybe my record button, which is my home key, does something in the simulator. Because, yeah, I don't know. Very strange. I don't understand. Like I just said, for the past however many minutes, 20 minutes or more, I was stuck at 6,900. Could not climb to save my life. I was about to stall, couldn't climb. I hit my record button and now we climbed a bunch. I don't get it, but I do remember that happening when we used this in the other way. Now it's doing its own thing. That happened too. But I do remember this happening in the transatlantic flight, where all of a sudden it would just get a bunch of power and climb, and I wasn't able to before. And also the weird thing where like just do weird stuff. Remember, it would turn and go up and down all on its own. So it must be the airplane, because other airplanes don't do it. But anyway, welcome back. There's your introduction of what's going on. This video will not be as rambly as the previous video. I think for 41 minutes I talk non-stop in part 1. It'll be the opposite here. I'm just going to fly and give you sightseeing without the HUD in the way, of course. But that's where we're at. We're exactly where we left off, because there is the water and we crashed right over there. So we're a little bit south of where we were for no reason. Anyway, we are where we're supposed to be. We're heading towards Salton Sea, which is still in California. That's not the Nevada border yet. Whoops, I just clicked my map on my other monitor and made a waypoint. Yeah, we don't cross into Arizona. I see Nevada, Arizona, until we get to the Colorado River. So that'll be a ways yet. That will be in this video. I'm hoping in this video to get into New Mexico. Maybe? No, that's too far away. I don't know how far we'll get in this video. Maybe we'll get, I don't know, Phoenix. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So anyway, we finally got out of the clouds. Just before I started recording, we were in this cloudy mess, which cleared up over here. But it was solid clouds this entire time. Completely fogged in this entire time. Anyway, see, now I'm still able to climb over at 8130. Weird. Maybe the density of the cloud was keeping me from climbing. I don't know. I'm going to try to make it all the way to St. Louis without refueling. Hopefully we can. If we get to St. Louis without refueling and I refuel in St. Louis, we'll be full and heavy, but it's the plains. I don't see any issue. And by the time we get to New York and the Adirondacks or whatever, Blue Mountain, Appalachians, whatever is out there, we should be fine. We should have enough fuel burn to climb. So anyway, sightseeing in this video, you can see the Salton Sea in front of us. That's what this blue thing is right here, and we're going to cross it about, I don't know, I'm going to move to the right a little bit. So sightseeing, Salton Sea is your next big thing to look at. I am using Google Maps, of course, since there's nothing in the nav log at all. I'll point things out with a little bit of narration as we get there. So sightseeing to Salton Sea, and then desert into Arizona over to Phoenix. So you might not even hear from me until Phoenix. Who knows? I have no idea how this is going to work. Just enjoy it, and I'll enjoy flying, and I'll ramble at you a little bit. Alright, we're coming up on Salton Lake. It's been 2 hours at least into my flight, including the redo stuff. Well, if the redo has been 3 hours because I redid the first hour because I crashed in the first video, but it's been about 2 hours from the start of the leg to here. And there's Salton Lake, and all of a sudden, just before I record, all these clouds popped in. It was clear, it was totally clear, and I was all excited to show you this lake. But now if you have clouds, which is fine, we have de-icing on, and it's more interesting if you remember the de-ice lever is a smaller one here, and I have it engaged. A few things to mention. First of all, I tried to show you some sightseeing without giving you like an hour of it, and it was incredibly gorgeous back here. Whatever sightseeing clips I left in after editing, I'm sure doesn't do it justice. Of course, nothing replaces you flying this yourself if you can, but I know a lot of you don't even have the simulator, or a lot of you are actually X-Plane fans, and you fly X-Plane, but you like to come over to my channel to watch Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's see, can we actually use this view? Why is the drone. Crooked. Let's try this. Let's go like this. There we go. That's beautiful. There we go. We can fly now while we look. So nothing replaces you flying this yourself, but of course for most of you watching you can't, either because of time or equipment, or you just don't have the sim, or you're doing other things with the sim. And some of you actually are replicating the flights. I have a few fans out there, you know who you are, who do all the flights I do. So I'll do them, then you'll go do them. I think that's just super cool. That's a really fun thing to see happening. I'm going to take a screenshot of that actually. But this flight is actually incredibly challenging. I did not expect this to be so difficult. So when we flew transatlantic, it was smooth, right? I mean, we had some land, like Nova Scotia and stuff, but other than that, it was flat ocean, right? So I hung out at like 3,000 feet, had everything trimmed. I would just watch YouTube and tap my yoke every couple minutes to make sure I stayed on course, and did that for like 30 some hours. This flight is very different. This flight, I've been completely engaged the entire time. I do have a podcast / YouTube video going, but I'm not listening to it because this is taking all of my attention, which is really cool. It just means it's going to be exhausting, and I'm not going to be able to fly all of it. Not all of it. I'm not going to be able to fly as much as once. So in the transatlantic flight, I just kind of went at it. Just fly, stay up super late, fly. Got it into 6 videos. This one, you're watching this in the future, but this is not going to be like that. I'm going to fly, and then I will need to take a break for a while. So these videos, these parts might not be as close together as the other ones, but we're already in the second video. So anyway, very difficult to fly. I somehow got up to 9,500 feet. I had a gust or an updraft that flew me up here, and I'm talking with my hands, you can't see me, but the updraft tossed me up to 9,500 feet. I was at 8,000, so it sent me up 1,500 feet, and I've been able to maintain it. I cannot go higher. I've been playing with my mixture. We're burning fuel, and I cannot go higher than we are now. 95, 50, actually this is the highest we've been. So we'll see what happens in these clouds. Maybe they'll toss us up a little bit. We do have mountains coming up. It won't be in this video, probably won't even be in the next video, but many hours from now we do have mountains. So I'm actually going to stay south of our route, because of those mountains coming up. I just don't want to risk crashing. So we're going over Salton Sea now, which you can't even see because of the clouds that came in. There's the sea there. And then we're going over the desert. The next big thing to look for will be the Colorado River. That will be our border from California to Arizona. I'll make sure to get that in sightseeing. It will be in this video. We'll get that far in this video. And then more desert. We're supposed to stay north of Phoenix, but there's mountains there. So I'm probably going to stay south and go over Phoenix. And then there's a few reservations there that will try to cross the mountains there, because there are going to be mountains. And then after that, in the next video, maybe even 2 videos from now, we're supposed to go over Santa Fe. But again, mountains. So we're probably going to stay south and go over Albuquerque. That's my plan. And then we'll either follow Interstate 40 and 44 all the way to St. Louis, or we will follow US 54 and head to Wichita, like they want us to. Haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. But we will remain south of our path until Albuquerque, because of mountains. So we're going to, we should see Phoenix, we should see Albuquerque, and then from there, I'll decide which way I want to go. Do you want to go Oklahoma City, or do you want to do Kansas City on the way to St. Louis? And that'll be the first leg, several videos in. And then we have to do the second half where we fly from St. Louis to New York. So this will be quite a few videos, probably more than the transatlantic, because transatlantic was water for most of it, right? So I just condensed like 2 weeks of flying into one video. But this will be different. And look at all these clouds that came up. I don't know what's generating the weather, if it's supposed to do this, or if it's using real weather, or what. It did bump us up 200 feet, though, those clouds did, so that's kind of cool. There's Salton Lake coming into view now. So anyway, if you want to look at the map, if you want to look at Google Maps, starting in San Diego, we're at Salton Sea, about to head into the desert to cross into Arizona. So yeah, it's just a little blip on the map in terms of how far we've gone. So this is gonna be a longer trip, not longer than the other one, but more. It's gonna be more exhausting because it's more engaging. Like I cannot take my eyes off this thing for a second. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it back to more sightseeing. We're just on the southern tip of Salton Sea. We're south of where they want us to be, but that's because of mountains. So now we're gonna head towards Phoenix, and then go around the mountains and head towards Albuquerque, go around the mountains. So more sightseeing. I'm hoping to get well into Arizona before we end this video. So sightseeing of the desert, or in this case clouds. I will get the Colorado River into sightseeing. I might start talking at the Colorado River. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, enjoy the clouds and maybe we'll see some desert. Enjoy the sightseeing and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, a bit of an update for you. Let's jump out to our trusty HUD view. And if you look at our altitude, we're down to 7,800 feet. It was down to 7,300, and I've been slowly climbing back up. When we went over this ridge, not this ridge, but back here, this little one, there were a bunch of clouds. And it threw us flat down, and we were full of ice. I have the icing thing on, or maybe that's off and this is on. I don't know which is which. But anyway, my plane was completely full of ice. This front, I should have kept an image of it, was completely white. I thought we were going to crash, but now that we're out of the clouds, it's going away very, very, very slowly. You can see a few dots left, but it was completely full of ice. And that's probably why we went down so fast and so far. And so now we're slowly working our way back up to 9,500 if I can. If we do run into more clouds, get more icing, I'll flip that switch the other way, and maybe I turned icing off. I don't know. Maybe it was not. We'll find out next time. But anyway, Colorado River runs through the green patch, which is why it's so green, because there's a water source there. Just like if you look at the Nile in Egypt, it's green around the Nile. So just like this is green around the Colorado River. So Grand Canyon is way over there. We will not be able to see it. But what's on the other side of this river is Arizona. So we're coming up on the California-Arizona border. I'm trying to avoid this storm, even though it looks amazing. I don't want to go through it because I don't want to ice up. And I'm slowly climbing again back to 9,500. And Phoenix is right around the corner. So if we go here and then head a little more due east, we'll go to Phoenix. And that is the plan, is to run into Phoenix. I'm looking at my Google map. I actually turned on satellite view so I can match. Now I lost where it was on my map. So I can match what I see here with Google Earth. So, or Google Maps. So like every single bump is in there because of course these are satellite images. Even though it's Bing, it's still satellite. All of this is in there, so I can follow along exactly on Google Maps. I don't need to. I know where I am. I know the U.S. Incredibly well, obviously. So I wouldn't need the whoop. There's that funny thing. Remember that from the last time when we went over the ocean? This would happen. Very scary stuff. But hey, if it blows me up to 10,000 feet or 9,000 feet, I'm not going to complain. Reset barometer, gyro drift, all that stuff. I don't care if we go up to 9,000 like that. Whatever. But those types of things happen. So I think it's misinterpretation of like updrafts and things. I mean, there are some bumps below us, but this shouldn't be that crazy, right? Anywho, oh, now we're flipping around. This is full engagement. This entire flight. Anyway, we're going around this storm right now. I'll give you sightseeing as we cross the border into Arizona over the river, and then eventually we'll end this video and go on to part 3. I don't know. I don't know how long the videos are because I don't know how much I'm keeping in terms of sightseeing. So we could be at 20 minutes right now. We could be at an hour. I don't know. But we're going to keep going wherever we are in time. For sure, cross over the river. I would like to get this video to Phoenix. We'll see how it goes. If I even get there myself right now. Depends on how long I'm able to fly. So enough rambling and more sightseeing. And I'm going to try to get this airplane back under control because this is insane. You can't really see how much I'm fighting it other than what you see on screen. Okay, I'm back already talking because this thing is a nightmare to fly right now with the clouds and the wind. I mean, oh, we're at 9,000 feet. Maybe if I were much lower, it'd be easier. If I were like at 3,000 feet or 5,000 feet, or maybe be even more difficult. But we have mountains coming up, so I don't want to get lower. We're not talking about the Rockies or anything, but we have some good-sized mountains coming up that are at least 5,000, 6,000 feet, I believe, when I looked up the peaks online. So I want to stay well above them. But it's a nightmare. So we're going to head a little bit north to get around these clouds. Phoenix is still that way. Straight that way if I were to go like this. But I don't want to because those clouds and icing, even though I have that icing lever, I don't know which way is which. I don't want to ice up and crash. So I'm looking to get to Interstate 10. If we can get to Interstate 10, then I can follow that into Phoenix. And then if I can, then I'll veer off. There's some valleys to go through the mountain range. I don't know how high the mountains are. There are forests on top, so they can't be that high. The trees can't grow that high. But we will have to cross. But if we go Phoenix and we take, follow Interstate 10 and then maybe follow US 60, it looks like, then we can get through the mountains if we have to. If we can't go over them, we can go through them. And then on our way to Santa Fe or whatever I said it was. Albuquerque, sorry, Albuquerque. We don't want to go to Santa Fe. We want to go to Albuquerque. So anyway, we're crossing the Colorado River. So left side is California, right side is Arizona. We haven't made much progress because I've just been kind of going back and forth and zigzagging, trying to control this thing, maintain an altitude, and avoid clouds. So it's been like 45 minutes since I last spoke, and we haven't gotten anywhere. So this is quite a monster. Like I said, over the ocean was fine. A little bit turbulent sometimes, but otherwise you just kind of tap the yoke while you watch YouTube for a couple days or weeks or whatever it took me. This is complete full engagement. This is a different animal. This is very, very difficult. But I love it. I just don't want to crash. So we're going to avoid all this stuff here. I don't know what's going on there with the weather. We're going to try to go around these clouds. If I do get some icing, I will test with the lever and I'll join you with some narrations. You can see what that looks like. Otherwise, we are now in, well, not quite in Arizona. Pretty darn close. But anyway, if all goes well, there'll be sightseeing and you'll hear me talk in Phoenix, and we'll end this video. If other stuff comes up, you'll hear me sooner. See you in a little bit. Well, it's been another hour, maybe? I'm not even keeping track of time because I don't want to, but the Phoenix area has been spotted. You have to know the area to know what I'm talking about, but we have this market area here. Forgot the name of it. I looked it up. Then there's another patch of green there, and then Phoenix is right where those clouds are. So our plan to go to Phoenix has been thwarted. It's been thwarted by these clouds. So it's very fascinating. For the past hour or whatever it's been, an hour and a half, I was in the clouds and I was afraid of icing, so I went north of the clouds, and the clouds are literally pushing me north. So it's almost like it's programmed to keep me on track, because I don't know if this is real weather. I don't think it is, although it is updating, and that's why my plane gets tossed around. So I don't know if it's real weather or not, but the clouds are literally making me go to the north, which is still south of the plan they want us to use. So remember, the map puts you in the middle, even though you're not on there. So we're right here. We're still considerably south of the track they want us to use. So we'll be south of those crazy mountains. But my plan was to come across here through Phoenix, and we're not going to. We're going to be north and west of Phoenix. So right now, Phoenix is due west of us. If you take this, look at the mountain, more grass. There's a bunch of mountains, and then Phoenix. We're going to be north of it, unfortunately, which is okay, I guess. I mean, it's better to stay close to the track that they want. I just found it interesting that these clouds keep developing and more or less forcing me to the track they want us to take. So I think that's kind of cool, but I just want to give you that update because it's kind of significant, right? It's forcing us to stay where we need to be. So anyway, we're just over the desert, some hills, mountains, coming up on Phoenix, and I'm going to try to end this video in Phoenix, well, north of it. So a little bit more flying for me, maybe some sightseeing if I see something unique, and then I'll see you north of Phoenix. Give me just a moment. Well, the sun is about to set, and we found our way into some clouds, and there's some freeway action, an interstate and some highways down here. I was on Google Maps trying to figure out which ones they were, and I can't exactly tell. I'm assuming one of them is Interstate 10, but I can't really tell because the clouds are in the way. So all I get is like a 2-mile glimpse, like right here, and then I'll see the bend. I'm like, okay, there's a bend, and then another bend, and then clouds get in the way. So I'm trying to line that up with Google Maps, and I want to say, I don't know, I want to say that was Highway or Interstate 10, and now we're looking at 60. I want to say that, but I can't find a road that comes off there. So, oh yes, I do. I just found it. That is Salone Road. Okay, so we're over US 60 now, and there's the bend, Wenden area. Looks like cool. So, yeah, Phoenix is, yeah, they're exactly what I thought. Okay, cool. So Phoenix is, again, behind that ridge there, or that clump of hills, and then behind the clouds. So that could be White Tank Mountain Regional Park right there, I'm guessing. And then we're just kind of following this in. So we're going to follow this into some mountains. Looks like it might link us up with, I don't know what it's going to link us up with. Depends what we do when we get to the mountains. Some more state and U.S. highways, and then Interstate 40 perhaps, depending what the clouds force us to do, because again, I'm trying to stay just north of the clouds, but that's not going to work anymore, because now we have this whole ridge of clouds going all the way, and I'm not going that far north, obviously. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully we don't ice up. If we do ice up, I don't know. Oh, there's some water there, looks like. Is that water? No, hey, that's a field. Okay, I can look at that on the map, on Google Maps, and see if I can find that. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not that worried about it. Just squint my eyes and find it. Anyway. Okay, there's an airport coming up on Google Maps. Is there an airport here coming up? So I always put you in the center, even though there's no yeah, there it is. Yep. Yep. Okay. We're exactly where I'm exactly right. We're over at US 60 right now. Cool. I know exactly where we are. We're still south of the plan they want us to be, but now we're going to have to take their plan. I'll show you why. To get through this valley up here, right here. So My plan of staying south, I was going to go to Phoenix and go south of all this and come through here and then, you know, all that stuff. Not going to work because the clouds forced us up here. But at the same time, like I said, there's clouds in front of us anyway. I'm not getting lower because I don't want to get low at night. It's going to be night soon if I keep flying. Of course, if I stop the sim, save it, or save it, stop it, start again, where I left off, it'll be daytime. But I'm going to try to do some night flying. No one is needing me at my family, so that's good. Anyway, if I go below these clouds to avoid icing, looking at the train on the map, it gets pretty dark brown. And looking at Google Maps, it gets pretty high. I haven't gotten any altitudes from Google yet. I probably should. But anyway, I can't go below the clouds to avoid icing because we'll run into mountains. Like there's literally mountains that are going to touch those clouds. So maybe we go over here and just kind of follow, you know, valleys within the clouds or something. But it's going to be dark soon, so I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, this is going to get interesting quickly. So I think with that drama, I'm going to end the video here. Again, I have no idea how long the video is edited down. It could be 20 minutes, or you could have been watching me for an hour. I don't know. We're going to end part 2 here. In part 3, I'm literally going to start recording right now so you get some nighttime. So like and subscribe so you know when part 3 is recorded and edited, and I'll see you then.